Shanghai Lounge. There's a mic, not the whole Shanghai Lounge, just a mic at the lounge.
God damn.
Put your hands together. Give a very, very warm reception to Toria Pace.
Yay, Toria!
Yeah, you don't want to see me running an entire fucking lounge. That would be a train wreck. There's not enough Adderall in the fucking world. So, just by like a hoot and a holler, because I can't see with this light, who understands what the fuck my shirt means? Okay, so I need to explain why medium ugly men are perfect then. I wasn't planning on this, but like, I guess I'm the only funny one. That's okay. So we've all taken a statistics class, and if you haven't, pretend like you have. So we got a bell curve, right? Just like a standard bell curve. And on the end, you have people who are just like ugly, and like it depends on your own version of ugly. They can have a shitty outside, a shitty inside. Either way, we're rocking with it. And then on the other end, you have somebody who is gloriously beautiful. And in the middle, you have just like everybody else, our medium ugly folks. And that's where you want to be. Okay. There's a lot of vain people in this room. But let me tell you, that's where you want to be, because like the weirder and like less awesome you are to be around, no one wants to be around you. That's a fucking given. And then you get on to the other end of like your beautiful people. They're fucking weird. Those are like the people who eat your face. So medium ugly men, that's where we're fucking at. And no, that's not me giving up on dating at all. Because like you see with like a face like this, a body like this, and a personality, it might be hard to believe that I'm single. But you see, I am recently single, and I'm really fucking excited about it. Not all at once. We can line up afterwards. But I love being single because it means I get to play my favorite game, Tinder. And like, I know most people don't love the dating apps, but I do. Because like for me, Tinder is like walking through a candy store filled with old lady strawberry candies and rat poison. Swiping through the sloughs of finance bros and men that look like, well, you. I'm sorry, you're not ugly, you're just vaguely white man shaped. You see people in their natural habitat when you're on Tinder, you really do. In fact, one time when I was swiping through, I came across the profile of an entire prison cell block. Yeah, it was fucking amazing. Because like, it was a profile for like the main dude. I don't remember what his name was. I forgot to screenshot it. I screenshot everything, as you'll see in a moment. But I lovingly call him King Shiv because he's like a king of my heart, and like he was holding a shiv in one picture. But he heavily advertised the rest of his cell block buddies and let us know that if we wanted to, we could contact him, one of them, and maybe have like a smoldering date in 5 to 10 years. Which if you think about it is really awesome, because I feel like most men just want like a conjugal visit and quit it. But no, these men were down to COVID. Yeah. And this experience has like really like shaped how I view Tinder, because like now I treat it as a game. And Melina, do you care if actually this is a MacBook, I think?
Yeah.
I will fuck this up. May I ask for your assistance? Until then, I will just stare lovingly at all my admirers, all my suitors. They can give it up for the outfit. It's like if the Spice Girls were cool. Sorry. So, this is my presentation. Tinder, I hardly know her. A presentation highlighting the best dating apps have to offer. Or as I like to call it, the lover litmus test. And I say this because this is an actual text I have gotten from a man who didn't make the mark. Okay, so starting off with a man who might still follow me on Instagram. We'll figure out if he messages me afterwards. I want to go to one of your shows, have a great laugh, and have kinky sex in the bathroom after. Ha ha ha. So the hard issues on this, great laugh, bold. Because like right now, we're going well, but not all of my sets end up like this. Like my head game, fire. Comedy game, give and take. Okay, next. Bathroom sex, gross. Because I don't know about you, I'm a fairly kinky person. Like, I mean, like, for Seattle, maybe not, but like kinky overall. And I think the idea of having sex in a place where you not only poop, you pee, and you shit. That side understands that pooping and shitting are two very different things. If you don't know yet, you will. But I could not imagine getting down and dirty next to a pile of like pink Whitney vomit. That doesn't exactly speak, touch me, daddy. So that bold, just bold from this man. And then third of all, the punctuation is a little unconventional. Again, bringing up the Adderall, I have ADHD. I don't know what the fuck a comma is used for. But if I'm feeling like a little frisky, I might use a period, an exclamation point, a question mark if I'm feeling amazing. But I've never used ha 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 to end a sentence. So, bye. I give love a baddie name. Because you see Cam, he thinks with my beautiful septum piercing that you in the back row might not be able to see, that's okay. You can just come up to me later and I'll pretend like that's normal. He thinks I look like a baddie, and if you're anything like me and you don't understand lingo right off the bat, you go to the most trusted source of Urban Dictionary. Yeah. So we're going with a female. I know what I look like, but I'm non-binary, so he's already 0 for 1. Who can hold her own and take care of herself. I haven't been in a fight, but I've imagined a lot of them and I've won every single one. So I think we're partying with it. And she is very pretty and independent. I mean, okay, so he got 2 for 3. And then next, also I see also a comedian I see. What's your go-to methods for coming up with new material? And to that I have to say, job training, this isn't a fucking Starbucks. This is my DMs, boy. So I proceeded to just not answer because I'm rude. My mother didn't teach me any better. So 3 hours later, undeterred, sends "do you peg" doggy emoji. And to that I have to say, down boy. Because only a man could see the fact that he's already losing. He's lost all of my interest and still thought he could bring it around with his unwashed asshole and a dog emoji. I'm pretty confident up here, but I think I'd already have a Netflix special if I had his confidence. Okay, who do we have up next? I'm gonna try and not get ahead of myself. I haven't been doing that yet. Oh, okay. The more, the scarier. Yes, this is Brandon. He's 26 years old, and I'd like to note that he is 6'5". I am not a size queen. I love a short king with the best of them. But he apparently thinks it is very important that he noted it twice. But he also has decided to note his weight. And anybody who has dated a man knows that anything that comes between or comes after his height and weight is just going to be utter vile. And Brandon came through. In case you can't read it, because that is terrible for me to read. 250 pounds of pure man. So I'm big enough to kick some ass for you and won't kick your ass, unlike your ex. Doing great so far. Must be under 200 pounds to climb this tree. Fat phobic, just to round it out. And then he entices us back after just all that vitriol with a swipe to the end for a surprise. So first, we're just gonna, chivalry isn't dead. Because he wants to fight for me, but only if I'm like this big around. And, but that to be said, I don't go around asking people their trauma or just assuming people's trauma, because I don't know about you, but my mother said to me many times, assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Apparently Brandon didn't get the memo. But don't worry, he left this sweet little treat for us. So, in case you can't tell, this comes from a screen recording that for some fucking reason I can't upload, so instead I took screenshots of a screen recording. I'm a technology wizard. And this first image is of Brandon loading up a flex. He is fully extended, shirt on, in a bathroom mirror that could use some Windex. And then the next image is of him with a red light, again in a bathroom. What are you doing in the bathroom that needs a red light? I feel like you would need to see if there's any red going on in the toilet. That's important. But now he's fully cocked, but he's doing like what I like to call a bodybuilder thing, where like he's trying to pretend like he also doesn't have back fat. I put mine completely on display for you. So, Brandon, I'm sorry. I'd rather prefer Oreos. Okay. So, anybody who's been on Tinder knows that there are moments that just trigger a fight or flight reflex. And this was one that was so bad that I didn't get to screenshot, so I drew for you. Yeah, this isn't the Mona Lisa. This is just me being awesome as per usual. And anybody who's a kinky fellow knows that for the most part, if a man already has you calling him this in his profile, shit's gonna end up bad. I keep thinking I'm saying this, and then I'm realizing, oh yeah, anything a man says is bad. So, shit, just gotta keep adding rules. But yeah, so Sir is 27, and I was trying not to be too judgy because like maybe it's like a nickname for Jesser, I don't know. I'm not a linguist. But then he has our bio of we know what we are here for. Purely casual, experienced, or curious. Yeah, and to that I have to say, communicate to me, baby. Just the most weirdly thinly veiled bio I could think of. And doesn't it all make my skin feel like it's about to slop off? However, this part wasn't the worst part, if you can believe it. Because this man, he's toying with me. He really is, because the only other picture that I chose not to artistically draw for you today was of his sex toys, multiple, spread out onto his bed like he's a little kid showing you all the Lego sets he got for Christmas. And the one that towers over all the paddles and the floggers is one of like those robo sex machines. It's just like a black box with a dildo attached to it. Goes. I think that's what they sound like. I don't know. Usually, if they're in a porn, you can pretty much just only hear like in the background. So that's what I'm thinking they sound like. Now that I've gotten myself off track, the reason why I bring up this picture. The sex toys were dirty. Yeah, you all are already ahead of me. They're not dirty as in naughty. No, they were covered in fluids. So you all can imagine why I threw my phone across a bar. He owes me a screen. However, I swiped left before I could tell him that. Okay, then next, this one's all about me. So if you've been on Tinder, you know that they have like little questions you can answer if you're boring. I'm not, but I'm really tired of this whole Pacific Northwest thing where you pretend like you actually like to be outside. And then you like to hike up mountains where there's bugs and like cougars, and not the fun kind. Well, depends on how close you are to a Lululemon. Then there might be cougars. But I wanted to let everybody know that my weakness is hikes. Please never take me on them because I got tired of people asking. And this lovely gentleman, he wanted to let me know how good of a listener he was. And Mark told me the only hike I'll take you up on is hiking up on my dick. And to that I have to say, what a good listener. It's not every day you get people who actually read all of your bios, so good on you, Mark. But I am noticing a lack of boundaries. Like maybe if this was my third message to him, it would be a little bit more appropriate, but just right out of the gate, I feel like we needed a bit more discussion. And then finally, I had a lot of interesting imagery with the idea of hiking up on somebody's dick, because I know what he meant. I'm not stupid, I just look like it. But I just imagine me with like Gandalf's like staff, like wand thing. I don't know what it is. I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I'm not a fucking nerd. And I just imagine that I'm like climbing up this man's average penis. And that's a good enough hike for me. So I still managed to unmatch this man, but not without really thinking about it first. And then picky and choosy, folks. You see Mike here, he's 25 years old and would love to buy well-worn dress flats. And before we go on to the next slide, I want to really iterate that I am not somebody who's going to yuck somebody's yum. If that's your fucking thing, then go for it. But my issue comes with the fact that he doesn't put logistics. It's just that one line in his bio. He doesn't tell us what well-worn means to him, because do we have a lot of AFAB people in the audience? Okay, a fair amount. Folks who've never worn ballet flats before, just be in awe for a minute. But all my AFAB folks, you know what it's like to wear those shoes to school without socks. Oh. And I need to know if he means that kind of well-worn, or shoes that have been well-worn like that for like a whole semester. Because like that's a big time commitment. And I have really fucking sweaty feet. They're just like puddles right now. You'd be disgusted, but Mike would be happy with me. And I also want to note the fact that he didn't put a price on it, and shoes nowadays are fucking expensive. So he needs to make it worth my while. And he also needs to ensure me that the pickup is not going to happen behind an Old Navy. Because personally, I've had a lot of shit go down at an Old Navy. And I think if I added this to it, it just wouldn't. I think that would be my 13th reason. I genuinely think it would be. Or he would just have to pay for my therapy, and Mike did not put what he did for a living, so we win some, we lose some. And I really genuinely thought hard about swiping right on Mike, but his name's Mike. And do we have any Mikes in the audience? Okay, good, because personally, that means you all have good taste. You see, I've dated 2 Michaels, and that's 2 enough to let you know never fucking do that. You know, Romeo said, "What's in a name?" And I say a whole lot of fucking bullshit, that's what. My name has been Toria Pace. You all have been a freaking excellent audience. And keep it going for your host, Jody.